Congratulations! After months of searching and applying and researching different companies, you finally gotten a call back for a job interview. But what's next? As you may or may not know, getting the job interview is really only half of the battle. The hard part comes with actually acing the job interview, winning the interviewer over, and getting an offer. So today we're sharing 5 of our best tips for preparing for your next job interview so you can walk away happy. Number 1, do your research. So you probably already did a bunch of research before actually applying for a job, which is great. But before you actually walk into the room for a job interview, you're gonna wanna make sure that you do a little bit more research too, and just refresh your memory. Sometimes when you're applying for several jobs at once, things can kind of start to blur together. So you wanna make sure that you know exactly what the company does. You wanna pull up the job description if you have it available so that you can really speak to each of the points that are listed in the job description. And you'll also want to start to look into some of the more uncomfortable details, like working environment. Can you work from home? Do you work from an office? What is your team going to look like? As well as salary and benefits. Those are big topics that generally do start to come up in the interview process, so you'll want to be able to answer those questions confidently and know what type of salary you're looking for. And you don't want to just pull this out of thin air. So use a website like Glassdoor or just do a bunch of searching online to see what that position and what that company typically pays so you can ask for something that is reasonable. Next, you're gonna want to update your portfolio and your resume. So again, these are things that you've probably went through already before applying for the job, and the interviewer will have already seen these things likely. But here's the thing. Typically, before heading into a job interview, the interviewer is gonna take one final glance at your resume, at your portfolio, at your LinkedIn, at all of those different information sources about you just to refresh their memory so they know who it is that they're interviewing, and also to probably come up with some last-minute questions and do a final check to make sure that you are indeed qualified for the role. So make sure to just spruce these up, go over your resume for any potential typos or anything like that. Sometimes they can come out of nowhere. And you'll also want to add any accomplishments or achievements or positions that you've held in between the time that you applied for the job and now, because things can sometimes change quickly, so you want to make sure that all of your experience is highlighted there. And of course, print out a couple copies of your resume. So even if you're just interviewing with one person, we still recommend printing out a couple of copies so that just in case an additional person comes in, you'll be able to give them one, or you'll be able to look at one yourself while you're running through your experience and things like that. Okay, you'll also want to make sure that you dress the part. Now, this can be kind of challenging. In this day and age, things have changed. It's not necessarily the case that every single job is completely white collar, suit and tie type of job. Some work environments are very casual, some are very formal still. So you wanna, again, make sure that you do some research on what the dress code is. You can use websites, again, like Glassdoor, or just do some searching to see if you can find any pictures of what employees look like they're wearing and what they say about the dress code. And then once you do that, our recommendation is to dress one step above that. So if you find out that the company has a very casual dress code, you're gonna wanna go for business casual. You wouldn't necessarily wanna walk in with a full suit and tie if everybody else is wearing ripped denim, but at the same time, you're not gonna wanna wear ripped denim to a job interview regardless of how casual the company is. Now, if you can't find any information about dress code, or you don't want to ask your recruiter or the person who is interviewing you, a good safe bet is just wearing a black suit. So a black blazer and a black pair of slacks is generally pretty acceptable for a job interview for any gender, any position, any experience level. Next, you're gonna want to ask for references. So these can sometimes come in handy. Now, again, not every company nowadays asks for references, but it's always good to be prepared. So make sure that you type up a list of 3 to 5 people who can speak to your experience and your skill set on the job. Maybe it's a former employer, a former colleague, a former instructor at university, and just make sure that you gather their name, their email, their phone number, and their positions that they're currently in, and just type them up into a quick document, put them into a folder along with your resume, so that way in case the interviewer does ask for references, you'll have them readily available and it will just make you look much more prepared and ready to go. And lastly, you'll want to check your online presence. So similarly to LinkedIn and portfolio websites and all of that, your interviewer has probably already searched for your name online before offering you the job interview. But again, things can sometimes change, so it's a good idea to make sure that you know exactly what it is that they're seeing when they're searching for you, so you can be prepared to discuss anything that might come up, good or bad, and also so you can take some action on some of the more negative things that may be on there. So how are you gonna do that, you might be wondering? Well, Marple is an app that allows you to take control of your online reputation. You'll be able to choose a search term. In this case, it's gonna be your first and last name. And what we'll do is we'll alert you whenever new search results pop up about that term. So we search not only regular Google search results, but also image search results and video search results. So you can rest assured that any new information that's popping up about you on Google is gonna be sent to you so that you can take a look at it. You can also mark it either positive, negative, or you can even report it to Google and ask them to remove it if it's something that's overly negative, malicious, untrue, that kind of thing. So Marple is a great way for you to take control of your online reputation, especially at such a critical time like the job search. You'll be able to see exactly what it is that your potential employer is seeing when they search for you, and really be able to speak to that and feel prepared and confident when you walk into a job interview. So you can sign up now at marple.app for a free account and go ahead and be prepared and confident when you walk into your next job interview. So we hope that these tips were helpful for you. If you do find these job search and online reputation and personal branding tips helpful, please make sure to give us a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our channel. We post videos every single week and we'd love to have you stick around. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.